Ninjago movie. Yep, that's the intro. This is the weakest one. I think that's relatively the popular opinion. Except for me. Well, 9-year-old me. I adored this movie when I saw it 5 years ago. Holy crap, that was 5 years ago. And how little things have changed. Now, this will be my first negative video. Wait, it's my third. Anyway, for my totally first negative video ever, I want to start off with the positives. The animation is pretty. That's the end of the positives, but seriously, I want to spend a lot more time on this because this movie looks so great. This movie is the first to begin distancing itself from the all Lego style, with this one mixing Legos with more realistic backgrounds and assets. And while that definitely detracts from the uniqueness of the movies, the final result was a much more detailed and appealing aesthetic. Let's see. Garmadon. He was, let's see. Garmadon. He had a good line, sometimes. I mean, he has nothing to do with his show counterpart. Okay. We have to talk about the elephant in the room. This movie is impossible to speak about without comparing it to the superior TV show. Now, the show is not one of Cartoon Network's best, not by a long shot. It's a decent show that I have a lot of nostalgia for, but it looks like the best when compared to this film, and this show is a great representation for how to do a story-driven by one character without completely sidelining the rest of your cast. In this film, Lloyd is the only one to develop. He's the only one to have what I think is supposed to be an arc. Now, in this show, every season is themed around one of the ninjas, but they are still given the rest of the ninjas something to do. Now, in this show, every season is themed around one of the ninjas, but they still give the rest of the ninjas something to do. They didn't just halt their development after the spotlight was lifted from them. Boy, wouldn't that be strange. All of the characters are underdeveloped, except for our main man, Lloyd. All of our characters are underdeveloped. Even main man Lloyd, while he definitely has an arc, even though it's rushed. All of our characters are underdeveloped. Even main man Lloyd, well, he definitely has an arc, even though it's rushed, clashes with the tone, and has all of our characters are underdeveloped. Even main man Lloyd, well, he definitely has an arc, even though it's rushed, clashes with the tone, and he was ethically in the right from the beginning. But wait, he's just one of our 4 Masters of Spinjitzu trademark. The rest of the ninjas fit into one character trait. Overbearing, quirky, cool, nervous, and of course, the best personality for a character, girl. Wu has ludicrous plot armor. He fake dies at least 5 times, and he makes it out of situations where he should have definitely died at least 20 times. To be fair, they do call themselves out on it, but that's such a waste. To be fair, they do call themselves out on it, but that is just such a lazy way of lampshading it. I'm getting sick of the meta jokes in these Lego movies, to be honest. In the original, the meta jokes are made in nice. In the original, the meta jokes are a nice surprise because you genuinely don't expect them. It's a little overbearing in Batman, but it fits the theme, being one huge Batman fan service fest. But in this movie, we are so far from the approach in the original or even Batman movies. In this film, the meta is used to mask full-on character origins and other integral plot points. Every word that comes out of these guys' mouths has a completely different meaning in the real world. These guys have a YouTube commentator style of humor. These jokes wouldn't seem out of place on Ant Dude, Saber Spark Daz Reviews, Branson the Man, and when when that's the only joke you tell, yeah, it gets really freaking old. Uh, Lloyd has a mom. She's a completely made up character and is just the generic overprotective mother. Garmadon is probably the best character in the movie, and even then, he's just okay. He's completely different from his show counterpart, and worse. Usually I find my eyes rolling at his jokes, but there are some funny jokes that caught me off guard. And God, that fight scene on the bridge, definitely the best scene in the film. Except the stupid ninja nerds joke that they draw out, and the infuriating Master Wu fake out death. Every time they try to tell an emotional beat. Every time they try to have an emotional Every time they had to have an emotional beat, every time they try to do something dramatic or heartwarming, they ruin it with jokes. Every single time without fail. Again, it's not Cartoon Network's best, but at least they let their emotional beats play out. The original show is really charming, and I don't see myself going back to it much after this video, but this show looks like Gravity Falls. The original show is really charming. I don't see myself going back to it that much after this video, though, but this show looks like the Gravity Falls of CN. The original show is really charming, and I don't see myself going back to it that much after this video, but this movie makes it look like the Gravity Falls of CN. F you, cell specs. This is worse than Despicable Me 3. I'm sorry. I went way too far. That was completely false. Oh, yeah. Oh, frick, yeah. I guess I'll talk about that weird Unikitty show next time.